Alright, let's try and get a thumbnail with all the books that I bought in the month of June. I can't even fit them all in the frame. What's up, bookworms? This is Dani Reads, and as you saw from me struggling to pick up all of those books for my thumbnail, this is my June book haul. I bought an excessive amount of books. I'm pretty sure, oh my god, I think that the tile's gonna fall. So I'm pretty sure that I bought some of these books before the month of June. I'm just kind of lumping them all together because I haven't done a book haul in a very long time on this channel, and there are quite a few books that I want to let you guys know that I do own on, so you guys we can talk about it and tell me if you've liked them, if you've already read them. Maybe I could put it to the top of my TBR list. There's a lot of books. I don't want this to take too long, so let's just get into it. So the first book that I am going to show you guys that I purchased in the month of June is Girl Hearts Girl by Lucy Sutcliffe. I already read this book and I already talked about it in my June wrap up, I believe, so I card that up and link it down below. Loved this book, 5 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to say any more about it. You can go over to my other video and see what all the hype of this is about, but it's a beautiful cover. I love it. It's so cute. And I love Lucy. She's just a great person, and I am so here for the rest of the writing that she will bring to this world. The next book that I purchased was Another Day by David Levithan. Of course, it's a David Levithan book, so of course I am buying it. This is the second book in the Everyday, I think it's like a companion series. I'm actually reading it right now. I'm about 100, I'm actually exactly 100 pages into this. And yeah, so you'll probably see this in my July wrap-up, spoilers. But I did buy this. Like I said, it's the second book in the Everyday companion series, or duology. I think this is the only two that he's coming out with. Maybe not, maybe more. This pretty much is taking place from the perspective of the main character, female, from the first book. So it pretty much just rehashes everything that happens in Everyday, but from her perspective. So it's been pretty interesting. The next book is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. All I know about this book is that it's about the Black Lives Matter movement, which has been happening in the United States where I live. This kind of literature is so important. I've heard such great things about it, so I had to pick it up. I don't really want to know much else going into this, but I've just heard really amazing things, and I just feel like everyone should read this because Black lives do matter and the movement matters, and being a part of the LGBT community, I totally understand, not to the extent that this movement is kind of standing for, but I understand the persecution, and it's just a tough world to live in, and I just want to get their perspective on what happens. So the next 3 books that I'm going to show you that were purchased in the month of June or before are 3 books that my spouse purchased, but they're still on our shelves, and I'll probably at some point still read them, so I will show you guys them in this video. And they are The Princess and the Pre by Nell Stark, Because of You by Julie Cannon, and Sawmill Springs by Jerry Hill. So what all of these books have in common is that they are all lesbian romance novels. They are definitely adult, definitely steamy. I would not recommend it for younger readers. They're steamy. I honestly can't really read too many of these in a very short amount of time, only because they do kind of follow a specific author pattern, and once I pick up on that, it's kind of like the stories become predictable and it's just not my thing. But I will probably eventually read these because my spouse does love them so much, and I do want to kind of expand my reading. I do read some LGBT books. It's just, I feel like the research put in to find more LGBT books to read is just a little bit daunting for me. I know that there are some authors who do, some booktubers who have LGBTYA recommendations, so I will actually link some of those videos down below, and I'll probably get into some of those. But yeah, if you're an adult looking for a little bit more of a steamy lesbian romance, these would be the ones you'd want to pick up. The next book that I picked up in the month of June was Across the Universe by Beth Revis. I want to make sure that that was right. I honestly don't remember much about what this book is about because it came out so long ago and it was really hyped up a couple of years ago, but I saw this cover and I thought it was really pretty, and I know I want to get into this series at some point, so why not just start the collection? I think I got it at Half Price Books for like $2, so yeah. But I believe this is something about these people are in space. From what I remember, yeah, the two main characters were frozen. Well, then they unfreeze way before they are supposed to, and now they're just like on the ship and things start going wrong. And yeah, so I'm assuming shenanigans happens and I am here for it. The next book that I purchased in the month of June, I'm pretty sure Heather picked this out because reading the back, it doesn't sound familiar, but it is Arcadia by Ian Piers. I think that's how you say his first name. Piers, something. I just read the back of this book and it's kind of confusing. It's pretty much about this man who is living in Cold War England, and he just wants to get away from all of the horrible stuff that is happening in his country, so he creates this new world, and his neighbor ends up stumbling into it as a reality and like meets characters and stuff like that. That's what I got from the back. I know that's like the worst synopsis ever. Maybe I should look it up on Goodreads and see if there's a better explanation for it. But no, it does sound really interesting from what I've read from reading the back. It's probably not a priority, but since it's on my shelf, I will read it eventually. So the next book that we bought in the month of June is Where They Found Her by Kimberly McCreight. I did not read a lot of this synopsis because this is a thriller, mystery thriller, so I don't like reading the synopses of mystery thrillers because I feel like it gives a little bit too much away. All I know about this book is that it's about a newborn that is found dead in the woods. That's all I want to know. I'm pretty excited for this book. Mystery thrillers definitely have a place in my heart, so I am excited to get to this. I will probably read it in the fall to winter months because I feel like these kind of books need to be read then. The next book that I purchased is The Gender Game by Bella Forrest. I actually just picked this up right at the end of June. I honestly only picked it up because I was on Amazon and I needed like $12 to spend to get free shipping. So I saw this, I read the synopsis, and I thought it sounded really good. So here we are, owning another book. So in this book, it is a society that is split by a toxic river into two societies, one that is run by males and one that is run by females. In this world, any males that are on the female side have to be submissive, and that also goes the same for the other side. For the males, the women have to be submissive. Our main character, something happens to her brother where she has to travel. She either stays on the side of the females and gets executed, or she makes the adventure over to the male side and has to kind of stay undercover to try and save her brother, I believe. Her brother comes into this at some point. But what's really hard for her is that she is a very unruly girl, and living among the males where she has to be submissive is going to be pretty tough for her. So I'm super excited to get into this. It's a really heavy book. Like, it's just really dense. It's not that long, but like the material that was used was really heavy. But I'm really excited for it. I'm pretty sure it's a trilogy. But yeah, let's just see how the first book goes, and then if it's good, I will pick up the rest of the series. The next book that I purchased, definitely before June, I've had this for a couple of months now, and that is This Book is Gay by James Dawson. This is pretty much just an instructional guide to LGBT people after they come out, and what to do. And it's kind of like, it's a little bit silly, but still pretty genuine, because there are a lot of LGBT plus people who come out and then have no idea where their life goes from there, especially if they have a really bad experience. So I was lucky enough to not have a bad experience, but I still think that this will be a really intriguing book to read, to maybe drop some knowledge on some people. But yeah, anything that has gay in the cover and is rainbow, I'm for it, and I will purchase it almost immediately. So the next two books that I purchased in the month of June, I only have one of them in my hands right now because Heather is actually reading the first one in this series, and that is The Wrath in the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. I'm so excited to read this series, but yeah, so Heather's reading it first. The series is about a king who takes on a new wife every night, and by morning that new queen is dead. So the main character in the first book, I obviously don't know what happens in this book because I haven't read it, but in the first book, she volunteers to go in to kind of avenge her best friend who was going before her, I believe, if that's how I remember the synopsis going. Other than that, I don't really know much else. Don't want to know. I kind of want to go into it kind of knowing not a lot, which I like to do with a lot of the books that I read, just because then I'm not hyped up and I don't have too many expectations when I'm reading it. But the covers for these are amazing. I found these at Walmart, and as soon as I saw them, I was like, yes, I need to have them. The next two books that I picked up within the recent months that have passed are both by Mayim Bialik, and that is Growing Up and Beyond the Sling. Growing Up is pretty much just a how-to guide of how to be a great woman. Mayim is super feminist and just is definitely always advocating for us girls, which I think is amazing. I think she's incredible. She also plays Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory, which she is my absolute favorite character, so anything she writes, I will definitely pick up. But yeah, she is just super intelligent and just an amazing person, and I'm so excited to read these books. So yeah, so this one is about pretty much just building up women and, you know, making them more confident in what they're doing in their everyday lives to make sure that they feel equal to men. And the other one, Beyond the Sling, is about parenting. So obviously I am not pregnant, I don't have children, but hopefully within the next year or two, I will be in that boat. And this book, it says, a real life guide to raising confident, loving children the attachment parenting way. So just her insight on parenting, and once I'm pregnant or after I have a child, I will definitely be picking this up to get her insight on how parenting should work and the best way to do it. The next book that I purchased in the month of June is One Was Lost by Natalie D. Richards. This book is about a class of seniors who have to go on this mandatory camping trip before graduating. Why it's mandatory, I have no idea. Well, during the night, they realize that they are being stalked by this person. That this person is drugging them, stealing their stuff, writing on their skin, which I'm assuming is like, you know, like not just like Sharpie. And that's pretty much all the back says. And I think one person doesn't come back. I don't remember. But I mean, I thought I saw that in the back, but maybe not. I do own another one of her books, 6 Months Later, that I have not read yet, but this one sounded really intriguing, so I definitely had to pick it up. So the next book that I picked up was Dorothy Must Die Stories Volume 3 by Danielle Page. This is an auto buy for me. Anything with the Dorothy Must Die trilogy I need to own, so obviously I picked this up. This is just another set of the novellas for the Dorothy Must Die series. I think I've only read Volume 1. I might have read Volume 2. When I listen to it, I've been listening to it on audiobook, but they've only been like the separate stories, so I just have to figure out what stories went with which book, so then I can figure out which ones I have read and which ones I haven't read. But Yes, the Dory They Must Die Trilogy series is probably one of my favorite series. So, of course, this was an auto buy. The next book I have been waiting to buy forever, but I've been waiting for it to come out in paperback because all my books have to match if they're in a series, and that is Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs. I almost forgot who wrote this. I read the first book, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and I really loved it. I then bought the second book and I didn't want to read it until I had this one, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reread Miss Peregrine's and then kind of go from there and read all three of them. But I wanted to actually have the physical copies and not just like listen to it on audiobook because I want to see all the pictures that are inside and stuff like that. So I'm super excited to have completed my series of this, or my trilogy of this, with my new paperback. The next book that I purchased in the month of June was A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. No, I have not read A Court of Thorns and Roses yet, but Sarah J. Maas, I've been loving her Throne of Glass series from what I've read so far, and I've been told that this series is so much better, so I just had to pick it up as soon as it came out in paperback, because I only buy things in paperback, it feels like. I just had to pick it up. So once the last book comes out, I'll probably just binge read this entire series. The next book that I purchased in the month of June is The Compound by S.A. Bodine. This story is about a family who goes underground because some bad things are happening up on top, and the main character, Eli, starts to get restless. They are living in luxury underground, but it's the same things over and over again, and he's kind of just toying with the idea of, well, maybe it'll just be worth it to go up on the outside because at least I won't be living this mundane life that I've been living. So that's all I know about it. That's all I really want to know. It looks like it'll be a quick read. I'm definitely into this. The next book I purchased in the month of June and also read in the month of June is Lies My Girlfriend Told Me by Julianne Peters. Julianne Peters is probably one of my favorite LGBT plus authors for YA. I have read quite a few of her books. This one I probably enjoyed the most. If you want to see what I thought about this book, I will iCard up top what I thought in my June wrap up. But yeah, I picked this up because I just really wanted something to read, and I read, and at first I didn't even realize who the author was, but I just read the inside cover. And what this book is about this girl who finds out that her girlfriend died. And after her girlfriend's death, and she's kind of coming to terms with it, she realizes that her girlfriend wasn't the person that she thought she was. And she finds out that her girlfriend had been lying to her. So now she is kind of digging through all of the lies to try and find out the truth under all of it. So it was a really great book. I didn't like the main character, so I'm going to warn people now that the main character is not too likable, but I still gave this book a really high rating because I enjoyed the rest of the story. The next book that I purchased, and I'm surprised I didn't purchase a long time ago, and that is George by Alex Gino. This is about a 10-year-old transgender girl who wants to tell people that she is not a boy. So her and her best friend create this big scheme on how she's going to essentially come out as a female. And I started reading this and I am enjoying it so far. I actually am going to, spoilers, put this in my booktubeathon TBR, which I will be filming shortly. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying that this kind of stuff is mainstream and even being put into children's literature. LGBT plus people, we need representation, and it's so great that it's becoming more mainstream and not just kind of like hushed under the rug. Like, yeah, it's out there and I'm excited. And last but certainly not least, I picked up Saga Volume 7 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. I love this series. I have read 1 through 4, so I am definitely behind. I do own 5, 6, and now 7, so hopefully this summer I'll probably have to start from the beginning and reread them. Thankfully they're really quick. Definitely adult. There is definitely some stuff in here that is not meant for young readers, but I really enjoyed the story. If you guys don't know what Saga is about, it's pretty much I don't want to compare it to Romeo and Juliet, but it kind of is, because it's these two people who are from 2 different planets who are warring against each other, and they fall in love, and now they're on the run. So yeah, so it's kind of like that. It's kind of, you know, like star-crossed lovers, kind of, but it's so good. So if you haven't picked it up, I highly suggest it. Yeah, they're really easy to get into and they're really easy to fly through. So highly recommend. Alright guys, so that is all the books that I purchased in the month of June / every month before that. I kind of just was pulling books that I knew that I had purchased recently to put in this video. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know down below. Let me know how you liked them. Let me know if I should put them at the top of my TBR list, because I'm always looking for recommendations, because with all the books on my TBR, it's a little bit overwhelming to choose what I'm going to read next. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Words are starting to get really hard, so I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.